Hey, Dr. Baker here. I want to talk more about pregnancy, and ultimately this video is at the end of pregnancy because we're talking about the day of birth. And so I want to go over things like the position you're in while you're giving birth, epidurals, delayed clamping. I want to talk about whether or not you eat your placenta and why. That sounds weird? Yeah, I know, I get it, but let's go over it. Tongue tie, lip tie, checking for that, and the vitamin K shot and the hepatitis B vaccine. So first of all, with birthing positions, listen, the worst position you can be in is on your back with your legs up in the air. Think about this. Here's a pelvis, right? Well, just so you know, this is my friend, the spine, and this is your pelvis. So right here, when I put legs up in the air, do you see that right there? That's called your tailbone or your coccyx, and that makes it kind of hard to get something through there compared to if you were in a bent over position where that was not in the way. So, birthing positions, laying on your side, being on all fours, being in a bathtub, sitting on your toilet, laying over an exercise ball so that you can be spread out, relaxed, and be comfortable. Those are all different options. And again, those options are often not available at a hospital, which is why I'm a big fan of birth centers and or home births. The next thing, they're going to say, well, it's been longer than 10 minutes. We probably better speed things up. And so they're going to give you a shot in order to speed up contractions. Well, remember that whenever they do that ptosis shot, it's going to make your uterus contract faster, harder. So when it makes you contract harder, you're going to have a lot more pain. So pain level is going to go from whatever it is, skyrocket. Now, that's the exact time that we're going to walk by and go, hey, would you like to get an epidural? And you're like, no, I wanted to do it all naturally. I didn't want it to. Yes, give it to me. Maybe you won't look like that. Maybe that's just, I don't know. But once they start to stimulate birth and once they start to give you an injection to speed up contractions or to progress things, it's going to hurt worse. You're going to end up probably getting an epidural. Problem with epidural, a number of different issues, but one of the things that I see consistently with female patients in my office who've had an epidural is they consistently have horrible low back pain after the birth because of potential damage, scar tissue, and things like that from getting a gigantic needle shoved down your back. So, delayed clamping. This is going to sound a little bit crazy to you, but I flew over to Portland to take some classes on getting certified in pediatrics and taking care of pregnant moms and babies and everything. One of the things they presented on and talked about was the fact that when a doctor is helping give birth, as long as the baby's attached, as long as as long as the umbilical cord is attached to the baby, that doctor is still liable for any problems. But as soon as that cord is cut, so that's one of the reasons why you have OBs and different hospitals and different settings that are more likely to want to cut the cord really fast. There's a thing called delayed clamping. And delayed clamping means that you want to wait until the cord turns white. You want to get all of the blood out, everything that needs to go from mom to baby, nutrients, oxygen, everything should be out into the baby before you clamp and cut the cord. Delayed clamping. Highly recommend you put that into your birth plan and make sure you're doing that. Next thing, as soon as your baby's born, you need to get your baby onto you because your skin, your microbiome has good, healthy bacteria. Hopefully your baby went through the vaginal canal because if the baby went through your vaginal canal, there's a lot of other good bacteria the baby was exposed to, got in the mouth and in the nose and everything else. If you had a C-section, then that part was skipped, not to mention baby got pulled out of your body by its head. So make sure you're getting their spine checked if that happened for sure. Skin-on-skin contact is more important than them rushing off to figure out how much the baby weighs and how long it is and throw it on a cold table under the lights. Nobody cares. Get the baby on your skin. Have a moment. Let the hormones do what they need to do. Let your baby bond with you before they snatch the baby and go do whatever they're supposed to do. Eating a placenta, different video. Going to come back to that one. Tongue tie, lip tie, that's a whole nother video. I've got an entire video on that. But what I want to do with this video is just remind you of the importance of having that checked by a lactation consultant. I don't necessarily trust many people to tell me our midwife was great, but she told us it was no big deal. That led into us not doing anything about it. 3 months later of colicky baby, wish we would have cut it very much sooner. Whole nother video, but make sure that your tongue tie, lip tie gets checked for, and if there is one, you do something about it. Last two things are the needle they want to stick into your baby on day one. Number one, they want to give your baby what's called a vitamin K shot. I have a whole video on that with Project 180. If you want to watch the video, you want all the research behind any of the vaccine stuff, make sure you go to goproject180.com and download that free resource. Vitamin K shot has a black box warning. A black box warning is the worst warning they could put on pharmaceutical drugs, and it's on a vitamin K shot, so don't be naive. Second thing is the hepatitis B vaccine. Hepatitis B is transmitted through semen, saliva, and blood. So unless your baby's a prostitute or you were pretty risky or you have hepatitis B, a lot of reasons why you wouldn't do that. But again, go to goproject180.com and get all the research and data so you can present your case to the ridiculous doctor and hospital that wants you to get those 2 shots. This is Dr. Baker talking about day of birth. See you around.